Thank you, Scott. I've always liked being athletic, being strong, being capable, but I wasn't always. I was rather the opposite. At 11, if you looked at me, you would have seen a small boy, about 5 foot nothing tall, looking like someone made him out of pale twigs, lit the top on fire. I didn't like being that way. I wanted to be strong. More than anything, I wanted to be a fighter. I wanted to put my armour on and go to war. Be seen by everyone around me as strong and as powerful. I wanted it really badly. Looking back, what I wanted, I think, was to be looked at like a man, to embody that and fit that mold. So when a chance came up to be a man, to get stronger, to be a fighter, I took it. I'd never heard of judo, but on an event put on by my school for people to come talk about their clubs, I met a man called Joe Perry, who was there talking about judo. Like most people, my parents had put me in karate when I was a kid, but then I quit that to go fence, and then quit that just before secondary school. So I had nothing to do, and it was a chance to do some fighting. It was a chance to get good at fighting, to be a man, put my armour on. So I went along to judo with Joe Perry, who I called Sensei Joe for years, who I still call coach when I go train at home. I think I should have had some sense of what I was really getting into when, in my first class, my first ever fight, I got beaten by a girl the same age as me. I shouldn't have gotten a sense what it was really going to give me, but still, even after that, judo, it seemed to me like a way to get all those things that I thought I needed, and for years it was. I'm not saying I didn't lose. I lost a lot, but I always got up. There's this old Japanese saying which Joe used to say to me. He said, "Fall down 7 times, get up 8." So that was my motto. Keep getting up, keep fighting, keep your armour on. Don't ever take it off. Don't ever let anyone see you as weak or sad or scared. Just get up and get on with it. In lockdown, I couldn't train, but all the time I didn't realise I was getting older and bigger, and I was getting angrier. Angry in a sort of odd, directionless teenage way. I changed enough that people noticed when we all came back. I hadn't noticed really because it wasn't exactly like I was really all that different. I still wasn't tall, still wasn't very big. But some of the people who had seemed huge to me now looked sort of normal. And I was stronger than I had been. And I was pissed off all the time and looking for a chance to prove who I was, to prove I was a man, to put my armour on. So I went back to judo. Suddenly it wasn't about getting up, it was about putting the other guy down as hard as I could. It was about throwing him like I was trying to throw him through the floor every time. I wasn't the best at my club, or the strongest, or the fastest, but I hated losing the most. Judo was a way for me to put my armour on and never take it off, and I loved it for that. I trained as much as I could. I'd go to school aching. I'd endure late nights for it. I'd get up early for it. I'd ache for it. And whenever I felt sad or not enough, I just felt angry instead. So I got angrier and fought harder. Not better, really. My coaches always pointed that out, especially Joe. There's no problem with your commitment, Pascal would say, as I dived headfirst into the floor. It's your technique that's the problem. I didn't listen. So soon enough, competition came around, and I worked hard for it. Really, I tortured myself every way I knew how. I ran sprints, I ate less, I trained harder, I dreamt about winning gold, about smashing everyone, and being victorious. Being proud and proving once and for all that I was a man and that I could fight. And competition day came. I was underweight for the category by a good few kilos, and I can tell you a few things now that I didn't know then. Firstly, I wasn't very good. Secondly, I cared a lot too much about the result. And thirdly, I prepared very badly. So I lost, and I lost badly. I came off the last match, red in the face and out of breath and with a lump in my throat, and I still remember the ways my eyes stung when I cried. And I kept crying. I cried most of the coach ride home. I took the summer off judo. I think it was partly because I was ashamed, but also because something else. I'd realised judo wasn't going to let me keep my armour on. In fact, it was going to force me to take it off. However angry I got, there it was, breaking me open, making me admit that I cared. I was scared, that I was anxious, that I was just human. I still do judo, obviously. I think that should be clear, but I'm a different person now, because it made me a different person. And I love it for very different reasons. I don't love judo because it lets me keep my armour on. I love judo because it forces me to take it off. I don't have to be angry. I don't have to prove how much of a man I am. And if I ever forget any of that, it reminds me the hard way, which is always the best way, by splitting that armour open and showing me exactly who I really am.